Hey guys, you're welcome once again to my YouTube channel. And like you all know, my name is Tia and this is Maple Talk with Tia. I really want to appreciate those who subscribe to our channel, who hit the like button. And I'm encouraging you out there who might come on this video to hit the like button and the subscribe button. And those of you who have been with me on this channel, I'll encourage you to share this video to your friends, your loved ones, those who have the intention of stepping out of the country, moving to Canada, and even any other country, because we'll be discussing other country migration process. But first of all, why we're dealing with Canada is because Canada is like the pronounced place where many people want to travel to, but they are facing one difficulty or the other, or having more issue or the other, or having more rejection or the other. And that's the reason I decided to focus more first on Canada. Thank you guys, and you're welcome to Maple Talk with Tia. So the last two videos I uploaded, we talked about the visa, the do's and don'ts when it comes to your statement of account, your proof of fund, the do's and don'ts when it comes to your information, the necessary document you need to attach alongside your statement of purpose. So today I'm going to do a little touch up on the previous videos I uploaded, then we'll dive into something else, just so that you're having the full information. So the reason I buttress more on the statement of purpose and the proof of fund is because those are the two major things that might actually be the issue and be the reason why people get rejected. Okay, so I'm going to touch up one or two things on the statement of purpose. All right, so like I said in my previous video, that I should try to declare your family members in part of the introduction in your statement of purpose. And another thing is, the reason I told you to declare your family members, you never can tell. Maybe one of your family member might migrate to Canada and gain express entry. They can migrate to Canada as a permanent resident, either through express entry or any other means, you understand, and become a permanent resident. And they will actually be an advantage to you in your relocation, and when you are about to transition from either being, maybe you come in as a student and you want to transition as a permanent resident, or even if you want to go in as a permanent resident, if you already have a family member in Canada, they being your blood relative, like your direct relative, will definitely add an extra mark to your score. So that's the reason I'll say declare your family members. Even in the there's this form that you download on the website and you attach the document you upload. So that form, that's the point where you fill in your family members, your parents' details, their address, their occupation, and some other details that will be asked of you on the form. So it's good you declare your family members, and this will also help because they'll hold on to that information. If you in the future now want to apply for a permanent residency, you now mention a family member you never attached to your information in your initial process, you understand, and now you want to use the family member as an advantage to yourself later in the future, it won't count. Reasons you never made mention of them in your initial application, so it's not going to work. So that's why I'll tell you, just come forward, come straight, come forward, come hard, just be plain, declare your family members, give their detail, because something might come up in the future and you need that information to work for you. All right, that is that. Then again, validity of your passport. Now the thing is, you can have an international passport and apply, but the thing is, ensure you're applying with a passport that is still very, very much valid. Now, if you're applying to come in as a visitor in Canada, this is the thing. If your passport, let's assume your passport is a 5-year passport, and maybe let's assume you apply for the passport this year. You have 5 years, that's the least. You have 5 years. When your visa is approved, they will give you a 5-year visa. If you did this 10 years passport, this is a 100-page, they call it, you understand, the Nigerian passport, and you are lucky to get the visa, you get an approval for your visit visa. When you'll be stamping your passport, they will be stamping 10 years for you. That is the trick. Now, don't get me wrong. If your passport is this 10 years passport, the 100-page or so, and let's assume you got the passport last year, you know, now you have 9 more years on it. When you, let's assume you now get the visa this year, when you send your passport for stamping, it's 9 years. They will start, whatever is left on your passport, the number of years left for your passport to expire, that's what they will stamp for you. So that's another trick I want you to know. So that's it. So the validity of your passport, again, aside the number of years you might be stamped for, please ensure that your passport is way above 1 year, because the thing is, now when you submit your application, you know, it will take time before they respond to your application, so it's already counting, so that you don't submit your application and with a 1 year passport, then maybe you get a response after 6 months. You can see your passports, like when they'll ask you to submit your passport for stamping. I don't know what you want, how many, I don't understand the period of time you really want them to stamp on your passport. So please ensure that you're applying with you know, a passport that is still very, very much valid, okay? Because it's an advantage. You have 5 years to stamp, 5 years. You have 8 years left on your passport. If you did the 100-page, you get stamped for 8 years. You have 7 years, you get stamped. You have 10 years, you get stamped for 10 years. That is it. So that is that. So now we move to the next one. You know, when you submit your application, after you must have attached all your documents, you now want to submit your application. In your process, you know, you pay the application fee, then you now pay biometrics fee. Application fee is different from biometrics fee. So just so you know that your biometrics, you know, when you pay for the biometrics fee, you know, you now book an appointment, you go to the biometric center, you know, where you give your thumbprint and all that, you understand? So just so you know that your biometrics is valid for 10 years. So maybe let's assume you apply for a visit visa, then maybe in the course of time you now decide you want to apply for a study visa, you understand? Or maybe a permanent, permanent residence, you still have to do another visa, another biometrics. So let's assume you applied for a visit visa, you are lucky to get it, and you now, or you did not get it, then you want to apply for a study visa. Whatever biometrics you've given, the thumbprint you've given, you don't need to give another thumbprint again. That thumbprint is valid for 10 years. The only thing you need to do is when you apply for another kind of visa, you only pay for the application fee. Except when you're now applying for a permanent residency, you have to give your biometrics. You still have to do a thumbprint for that one. You give another biometrics for your permanent residency, but when it comes to maybe visit visa, maybe you got denied and you want to apply again, you don't need to give any thumbprint. Or maybe you got the visit visa and you want to apply for something else, maybe study visa, you don't need to give your thumbprint because your biometrics is valid for 10 years. The only thing you need to do is to pay another application fee for whatever application you're submitting, you understand? So that is that. Then another thing I would like you to do is now for the visit visa, sometimes most people get rejected because there's a point where there's a form you fill and they ask you about your travel history. Now, some people are lucky, they apply for Canadian visa, visit visa ones, and they get approved. Many people have gotten, while sometimes your travel history matters. You know, sometimes travel history is an advantage to you. I'm not saying if you must, but the truth is, I'll not lie to you, travel history is an advantage to you. So maybe sometimes before you apply for this visa, maybe you can just try and visit countries like Morocco, even though you just spend a night, just get their stamp on your passport, or maybe go to Egypt or go to South Africa, you know, just go to, you know, some country like that, just get a stamp on your passport, and you can, even though it's just one night you spend, just get the stamp on your passport so you know you have a travel history. These are things that will really help your visa application, you understand? So it's also good. Visa history is good. It's an advantage to your application when you're traveling. Even when you're applying for UK visa, you're applying for Schengen visa, I will not lie to you, visa history is very, very important. It's an advantage, like it increases your chances of getting the visa, yes. So maybe you can just try and check into maybe Marrakech, you know, Morocco, Egypt, South Africa, you understand, some key countries like that, and just go and come back just to have the stamp before you apply for all these other visas. It's also good, it's an advantage to you. Then all right, so that is that for the visit visa. So like I told you, you don't need to do another biometrics after you've done one. That biometrics is valid for 10 years, and except you're applying for permanent residency. That is when you can now give another biometrics or thumbprint at the biometrics center. Yes. All right, so what I would like to discuss today is the study visa. Now, the study visa, there's a lot to it. So when you want to apply for study visa, like I'll tell you, the first thing on your list should be your passport, a valid passport. Then secondly, you look for the school you want to go to. You would like to attend either college or university. Then you apply to the school. Even most of the school, like when you're applying to schools, you still have to write a statement of purpose. You need to tell them the reason why you would like to come to study in their school and why you're choosing that particular course. How is that course related to your previous study? You understand? Let's assume you want to go for masters. Now you want to go for masters in a particular course. Now you have to state it in your statement of purpose, the reason why you choose that course and why you want them to offer you an admission in that course and how it's related to your previous study. So you have to come to another thing. Again, there are schools that, if there are some universities in Canada that if you don't have 2-1, like a strong 2, not just any kind of 2-1, if you don't have a very strong 2-1, they won't offer you the admission. So it's now, so before you start looking for admission, look at what you came out with, graduated with, your grades from the university. What did you graduate with? Then you look for university based on the grades you have, because not all universities will accept your grade. So you don't just go and pay application fee and it's wasted and you get rejected, you understand, for the admission. So the first thing for study visa is for you to first get an admission to a university or a college. So what you need to do is check, okay, I came out with 2-2. Okay, what university in Canada accepts 2-2? Okay, I came out with 2-1. Now you have to know the exact score, because I know someone who applied to a university in Canada, University of Windsor. He graduated with 2-1, which University of Windsor takes only first class and 2-1. Now he graduated with a 2-1, but not a very strong 2-1. The 2-1 has a particular score, like they have a particular cutoff mark. So now 2-1 is different from 2-1. Yes, he graduated with 2-1, but what is the particular score? So you have to look into that before you apply. And that was how the person got rejected. Yes, he came out with 2-1, but not the kind of score he came out with. So his admission got rejected. Whereas someone else who came out with 2-1 got it and she was admitted, you understand? So that is another thing you need to look out for. So you look at the school. So the grade you graduated with. So check for the schools based on the grade you graduated with. Search, Google search, and like, okay, universities that accept 2-2, universities that accept third class, universities that accept 2-1, you get what I'm saying, or colleges, you understand? So that's what you do. So when you Google that, you now know the school you would apply to. So you don't just keep applying to schools without you knowing. And you also try to talk to the school, like send email to the school. You see people where you can send, the department where you can send emails to, they'll always respond. Ask questions before you start applying. Tell them, oh, I'd like to apply to your school to come study this course, that course. Do you offer it? What exactly do I need? What are the requirements I need before I can apply? So you have that information before you know if you actually apply to that school. So you need to do that. Send the school email. They always respond. They always respond to the email. So that's another thing you can do. So that is it. So first of all, your passport, the validity of your passport must be very good. Secondly, you find out, make a research about the school based on your course, and if the course tallies with your previous studies, and if your grade will allow you go to that particular school you are actually searching for. And if it doesn't go through, then search for other schools, right? Now another thing is now you check based on whatever fund you have. You have to look at what you have, how much you have. So you check for schools again. If you want to, because schools, every university, their prices varies, their school fees varies, you understand, they are different. Some are very expensive while some are not expensive, you understand, or some are moderate. So you have to search again based on what you can afford. Now another thing is, some people will say, oh, I'd like to migrate to Canada via study visa, but I don't have the school fees now, and I learned there's this thing called study loan. Yes, there's study loan, and I'll be attaching the link of the study loan company that offers study loan. But then again, if you're coming to college in Canada, you can't make use of that study loan. You can't make use of that company, right? It's only when you're coming to university that loan company only gives loan to colleges in the US, not in Canada. Canada is just strictly university. I think it's just only one college in Canada that they offer loan to. But when you're coming to study as a university master's, they will give you the loan. But then again, when you want to apply for the loan, you too should also have like some money to display in the account, like, because they will ask you when you're filling the form, how much do you have in your account? So not like you're coming with an empty account. Now the thing with the study loan is that when you apply for this loan, another thing, you need proof of fund, and now the proof of fund for study visa has actually increased. So there's something about this study loan. When you apply for this study loan, there are forms you will fill, you will get an approval. Not like they will put the cash in your account, but they will the approval of the amount is what you will attach as a document that you upload and show them as your school fees. You understand? Not like they will put in the cash. They will be making the payment themselves for you, but is the approval, the attached documents of the payment, like how much they've approved, that's what you will attach in your school fees, the part where you have to upload your school fees receipt. You understand? So that is what the immigration officer will see. And most times, I will not lie to you, when you get the approval for this loan, it's like you're 95% guaranteed the visa. You understand? Because now the immigration officer has seen that, oh, you're fully funded, like the loan company is going to pay, so now they've covered you. So now another thing I'd like you to know is that when you are applying for this loan, maybe you don't have enough money for proof of fund, you're the one who will tell the school how much, tell the loan company how much you need. You can add extra money and let's assume what the school fees, the entire school fees is about $40,000, or let's just say that $5,000. Now, because maybe what you have, the money you have in your account for proof of fund is not much, so you can add some money, and convert it to dollar, because of course they will approve the money in dollar. You can convert it and let them, maybe you can attach maybe extra 15 million or extra $20,000, so they can attach it, so they will approve it. So that one will also start as your proof of fund. So now the immigration officer will see that you have not just more than your school fees approved, but also extra money as pocket money for for your proof of fund. You understand? So they will see that it's not just your school fees, you have this, like the loan still covers, you still have more money on the loan. You understand? So there's something people do, like when you get approved for the loan, and maybe before you got approved, you also applied for extra money. You understand? Like maybe let's assume the school fees is $35,000, then you now told them like you will be needing $60,000, right? So they now approve it. So that's extra 25,000. Is it extra $25,000, right? So now what you will do is, but the thing is, the loan company, you pay with interest. So what you will do is, when your visa gets approved, right? When your visa gets approved, immediately you come into the country, tell the loan company to withdraw that extra money you collected to attach to show for your proof of fund. You understand? But you will still have some money in your account that you have to show, so that it doesn't look like you're depending only on the loan company. Still have your own, some money, might not be up to what, but still have some money to show, so that it doesn't look like, oh, you're depending your whole application on the loan company, so that they will know that, okay, you also have your own saved fund. You understand? So I'll tell you what somebody did. She applied for the school loan, then she applied for extra $10,000. She was actually coming with 2 of her kids. So what she did was that she put 6 million for 6 million. She put extra 18 million. That's 6 million for herself, 6 million for her first child, and 6 million for her second child. So 18 million cash for her own, like as her own contribution to the proof of fund. Then the loan company balanced the rest, like with the approval document. You understand? So because she only had 18 million and she wanted to come with her 2 children, you understand? So she had to put 18 million. So it was like 6 million for herself, 6 million for her first child, 6 million for then the extra money that the loan company added to the school fees that were approved. That is what people do. And what you can do, what she did was that immediately she got into Canada, she contacted the loan company, so they withdrew the $10,000 approval, so that her interest rate will drop, so that it will reduce the interest she's paying, because the more the money you collect, the more the interest. So she had to tell them to take it out, because she's done using, after all, she has gotten the visa and she's done using that money. The only thing is just the school fees she's depending on them for. You understand? So they took out the extra $10,000 and now she was just left with the $35,000 or the 40. I think her school fees then was $42,000. The only $42,000 fees that this loan company was to be paying for her. You understand? So that is how it works. So you can also use the loan company to your advantage, you know, to also add up to your proof of funds. So that's another trick. All right, so that is it. So when you do that, you can, when you know you don't have the funds to come school and you really want to come on school, there are loan companies. I'll be attaching the link to this video. There are loan companies you can use, you can connect with, and they will approve. So they will ask for some details from you. You drop your information, you register, drop your information, then you'll be getting emails back to back. You'll be responding in the progress, and once you get approved, you understand, then you complete your visa application process, and you can submit your application. Then you go for your biometrics and wait for the approval of the immigration officer. All right, so that is that. So another thing about study visa, you have to draft your statement of purpose very well. It has to really be convincing. Now, I'll advise you, if you're coming as a student and you're applying for study visa, you know, I mentioned it earlier that if you're coming in as a permanent resident and you have a family member who is already a permanent resident in Canada or a citizen, right? Okay, I didn't mention citizen, but if you have a family member who is already a permanent resident or a citizen in Canada, it's an advantage to you to take your score up. If you are, maybe you are applying from outside Canada and you want to come in as a permanent resident, it takes your score up. It's an advantage. I think it gives about 60 marks or so. It takes your score up. Or maybe you're already in Canada, you're trying to transition from study visa to permanent residency, and you have a blood, not like your cousin or your uncle, your blood sister, your blood brother you get, you understand, that is a permanent resident in Canada or a citizen, it will add to your score, you understand? Okay, so that is it. So the thing is, now it works for those who are applying. That relationship, that relative thing, blood relative thing, works for those who want to transition to permanent residence. Now when you're applying for study visa, don't say you have a family in Canada. Most times it works against many people, because when you show that you have a family member in Canada, the immigration officer will say, oh, this one will go to school. And no, of course, everybody knows we are coming. You want to jackpot, you want to apply for study, you want to come and jackpot and relocate, but you don't put it out like, I really want to jackpot. You'll be like, I want to come and study this course because I want to, you know, when you're writing your statement, well, I want to come and study this course because it will be an advantage to me back home. You know, I'll be able to take on you know, higher positions in my company, or it will add to my business. Like, let's assume, okay, you're studying international business, masters in international business or something. You'll be like, okay, everybody knows most businesses suffer because due to lack of knowledge. So I'm coming, I would like to study this course so as to, you know, so as to be able to enhance my business and grow my business to a higher level. And I'll also be able to assist other people who are struggling with their businesses to also assist them to grow their businesses. So that's something like, you're coming to study this course so that you can be an advantage, you know, when you come back home. Always in your statement of purpose, always put it that when I come back, so that you are trying to tell the immigration officer that I'm not coming to come and I'm not coming to die in your country, I'm not coming to live in your country. I want to come and learn so that I can come back and add value to my country. Deep down within you, you know you want to jackpot. You know you want to jackpot, but you're not going to put it out like that. You understand? So then you don't put yourself in the point where you have to declare that you have a family member in Canada. Then the immigration officer will be like, okay, this one already has a family member, this one doesn't look like someone who would go back. You understand? So you don't do that, okay? So you don't put it out, because many people have been rejected because for their study visa, because they maybe in a way they expose that they have a family member in Canada. But it works for those people who are applying to come as a permanent resident. It's an advantage. If you're transitioning, you know, from student to permanent resident, or you're transitioning, you're trying to apply directly from outside to become a permanent resident in Canada, it's an advantage to you. So it's going to work for you. But when you're coming in as a student and you're applying for a study visa and you mention that you have a relative, hello, it's not going to work for you. So please, when you're doing that, apply wisdom to it. Okay? So that is it. So it's an advantage when you're transitioning to PR or you're applying directly, but it's not an advantage when you're coming in as a student. Okay, so that is it. So for the study visa, you have to be very careful. You have to be very convincing as to why you're coming to study this course. You have to really, you have to really know what you're coming to do, and you have to really know about the course and how it's going to be an advantage to you. Yes. Okay, and when you're writing your statement of purpose for your study visa, always make mention at any little opportunity that when I come back, giving them the sense that you will come back, you want to come back. Don't stay too relaxed like I want to come and die in your country. Always look for an opportunity to chip in. When I come back, I will do this. When I come back, I will do that. Okay, all right, so that will be all for now today. I'll still buttress more on the study visa in our next episode or next video. All right, so I hope I've been able to educate you guys on how the study visa works, and also how to apply for loan if you cannot fund your study in Canada, how to apply for extra funding or apply for a full funding from loan companies. And I've told you how to apply for the admission, how to go about your admission application, so you don't just go waste your money on different application fee and you still don't